Okay, this is kind of a second part to first part of how to create a electronic charge slip. And so I wanted to show you our two most common visits. A well visit, really easy, just imported it in from my documentation from my EHR. And this I'm going to do the same thing for a sick visit, pretty much following the same pattern. So first, again, let me remind you, in order to create an electronic version of a charge slip, the patient must be put on the practice manager schedule. If they're not on the schedule, it doesn't allow you to create a charge slip. So they have to be on the schedule. So I've done this, put fictitiously test dummy on the schedule, test dummy and test sibling. I did test sibling as a well visit, and I'm going to do now a sick visit for test dummy. So before I go up, I don't want to show you my patient information that I had in my real schedule. So I'm just pulling up this patient from my schedule, and something automatically is coming up here. I just want to get rid of it. So let's see. So I'm coming over here to my folder. This is what the MAs will be doing when they work up a patient. They basically find the patient here. So here's a sick visit. Now I'm going to create a linked note to this date. Patient note. Look at this, all one-handed, pretty damn amazing, if I do say so myself. So, excuse me. So now I've linked to that appointment a note, and it automatically knows that it's a sick visit, so the computer's smart enough to pull up my template. Now I'm going to go through a sick visit. Of course, you put in who brought them in and what their complaint is, and put in all their vitals, and I'm not going to even bother with any of that stuff. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. Basically, we want to get to stuff that we bill for, because that's the stuff that we want to make sure we're documenting on the charge slips. And so let's come over here to labs. So we're going to do vision tests, probably not. Let me come over here. Let's say, oh, we may do some urines. We do those on sick visits. Let's do a couple of those. So I'm not going to document any of this stuff, but the sick visits are basically, urines are kind of, once you've documented here, there are some codes in these boxes. The procedure codes are going to be linked from this note to our charge slip, which I'll show you in a second. And let's say we did, oh, they have a sore throat too. Let's do a strep, and maybe it was a difficult one because, oh, we don't know if they have mono, and man, maybe it's flu season, and oh, maybe they have RSV, oh, maybe they're pregnant. Of course, I know we don't usually do those. And let's do, let's pretend like we had a lead machine to do a lead screen. What the heck? Let's do it all. And oh, we did a finger stick because we think they have diabetes, and we think their ears are messed up, so we're going to do a tympanogram. Past medical history doesn't have any charges. History, present illness, physical exam, assessment and plan, procedures and shots. Okay, now we can jump over here. So it would be good to put in some diagnoses, so I'm just going to pull in, oh my gosh, there's so many. So I'm going to pull in test dummies. There's tons. Now I'm just going to start deleting a bunch because there's a ton of them. So let me just kill a few, and I'll just leave like with 2. Because really, on the charge slip, I believe you can only put in a total of 4 diagnoses, if I'm correct. I think that's the maximum. So let's say we'll just leave the fracture. We'll leave 1 diagnosis in that box. Let's come down over here. And again, remember to always document, especially for sick visits, how much time you spent. It can really justify, if you spent a lot of time, for what level you're going to level this. And let's say we spent a lot of time on this kid, obviously, with all those tests we did. Come down a little bit more, and let's say we want to level this. This is an established patient, so let's give it a 99214, let's say. We won't do the highest, but we'll do the second to highest. And let's also say, oh yeah, they had a cut, and let's say we sewed him up. Okay, we'll put some stitches in the kid, and so we did all this, and we're pretty much done with our note. So we come over here, again, we can either save or we can sign it if you're totally done. I'm not going to try to sign it because I've got a bunch of yellow boxes that I haven't completed, so I'm going to come over and save it. Let's turn that lighter shade, or that darker shade of blue as it's spinning and thinking, okay, now it's saved. And now I want to create a charge slip. Instead of repeating all that work and writing it on paper, I want to let the computer do it. So what I do is I come over here to add linked in between delete and print, and you see on the very bottom it says charge slip and charge slip pre-filled. I want to do a pre-filled one. I don't want to do it manually. And I come over here and I click on charge slip pre-filled and give it a second. Now it's opening up, and lo and behold, look at the magic. So here again on the left are my procedure codes with the description, and on the right, lo and behold, is my diagnosis code listed here. And if I had another one, I would put the second one here and the third one over here. And again, you can go in and delete them if you have something in here that you accidentally documented that you didn't mean to. And let me just sort of show you what you've got on this. So we've got the repair of the cut, we've got the urinalysis, we've got the glucose, we've got the monospot, we got the strep probe, we've got the flu antibody test, the strep assay, we've got the tympanogram, we've got the office visit level, the 99214, and we got the urine, the little dip on the urine. Everything, all the little details have been accurately transposed onto the charge slip. Now let's say, for example, if for some reason I wanted to add something, I could. I just come over to this second tab, which is the ticket, and then I could come and it's organized exactly like how the paper charge slip is, and I could kind of basically jump down here, and you notice there are boxes that are kind of checked off here. You see them, like the suture, and like all I'd have to do is find the thing and I just check it off and it'll show up. Like let's say, oh, I forgot to mention that this kid has impetigo. Look, impetigo showed up everywhere right here. And so you can go in and amend it, and I can also go in and delete it. And then also too, I can see everything that's been imported in from my note is listed here in these columns, and I could go off and click them or unclick them as the case may be, and I can look stuff up here with the find. And once I've had everything done and it's just the way I like it, which generally I just sort of say, yeah, that's fine, in about 2 seconds I just come over here and I hit sign it. Again, sign it, and it signs, and again 2 boxes automatically pop up. One is it tries to update the problem list automatically, and so it says, do you want me to save that to the problem list? And I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. It gives us meaningful use credit, so I hit save. And then the second thing is it creates a message box here, and again I could say send it to the front desk to let them know, yeah, I want them to follow up, or make sure they come back for this vaccine, or whatever the case may be. Or I can send it like I've set it up here to the billers, and I'm just going to tell them that this is testing only. Did I write that? Testing only, yeah, so that they disregard it, so they know this is totally bogus, so they won't get confused. I'm sure they wouldn't, because they know test dummy is not a real patient. But anyways, their charges now have gone off to the billers, and the billers will clean it up, and they can look at your EHR notes and send you messages if they need clarification. But generally speaking, it works pretty flawlessly and it's pretty smooth. And so this is how you generate an electronic charge slip, and this one for a sick visit. Check out the other one for a well visit, and try it out on a couple patients when you have time, because it's actually easy to do. And if you mess up, don't worry, then you can just go ahead and send the billers a message saying you messed up and that they need to delete or add something. So don't worry about it. Give it a try, see how it works, and you'll find that it actually is a lot more efficient than writing it on paper, and can save everybody an extra step or two, which is the whole point of this thing. Okay? Thank you very much.